Okay, I think we are recording now. Crazy, crazy story. I have a awesome guest for you guys, the one and only Nate Ginsburg, guys, and he's coming live from where are you right now?
Sitting at a co-working space in Manila.
Oh, Manila.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So up front, we're gonna talk about how Nate he just sold his Amazon FBA business, his physical product business, or at least a portion of it, for near seven figures, from what I hear. I was actually just chatting with Evan Teague, who my audience knows quite well, and he was telling me about how you just sold your business, and you two were just hanging out in Bali. And Evan's like, "Yeah, man, you should definitely interview him." And I hit him up, and boom, a week later, now we're chatting, and he got you on the podcast. So yeah, thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah, my pleasure. Yeah, was awesome to catch up with Evan in Bali like last week or 2 weeks ago. And just to kind of clarify or paint the picture, I wasn't originally planning on coming to Manila, but I don't know if you're following, but there's a volcano that's about to erupt in Bali.
Yeah.
So I left, and now I'm here. And Evan's the man, and thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. Evan is the man indeed. So boom, what just happened? You just sold your business. I like to go to the very beginning. The start of your entrepreneurial journey. So yeah, tell people, I guess, just your brief background. Where are you from? How did you get into the entrepreneur scene and also the digital nomad travel scene? And how did it all start for you, for people that are looking into it?
All right. Yeah. Thank you. Good question. So I was 23 years old, just finished teaching English in South Korea for a year, and was backpacking through Southeast Asia on my way home. Really had no idea what I wanted to do with my life. I knew I wanted to do something, cool or not shitty, but
something interesting.
Yeah. And so I'm in Pai in northern Thailand, which I think you're
Oh yeah, I've been there.
I would think familiar with. And yeah, hanging out at this hostel in the middle of these beautiful rice fields. And I met this guy, Andrew, that, literally changed my life forever. And it's crazy how, one little conversation in one random hostel in northern Thailand can like totally change the course of, well, my life. And I think, it's possible for anyone's life. And
that's crazy.
So I met Andrew. He was telling me about his online business, introduced me to internet marketing and SEO and outsourcing, and at the time Odesk, now Upwork, and all this shit just totally blew my mind that this kind of thing was possible.
Yeah.
And from that moment on, I remember meeting Andrew and him telling me this stuff, and it was literally like a switch was flipped. And from that moment on, I knew that kind of lifestyle was, that was what I wanted for myself. And it didn't matter what it was going to, like, it wasn't even a consideration of if it was going to happen. I just knew that this was so obviously the path and the direction that I wanted to be going in.
Exactly.
And so yeah, from then, met Andrew, blew my mind, totally inspired, and had some ideas of some online lead gen business that I was gonna start to work on. And yeah, from that, got back home, got to work. Not that long after, got smacked in the face pretty hard by reality. The original business that I was working on was not going so hot. Was failing. All of my, savings were, I was running out of all my savings. And honestly, I remember at that time feeling, I was feeling depressed, didn't know what I wanted to do. Business wasn't working. I was living in Chicago at the time, and was, faced with this question of, do I get a job, or do I, move back home and keep on pursuing my dreams? So I got some advice from a lot of smart people, and decided to swallow my pride, move back home, and keep on keeping on.
Yeah.
So
what?
yeah,
Real quick, what was your initial business? It was an online thing, right?
Yeah. The original idea, which I mean, the idea wasn't so bad. I had no idea what I was doing or, how to execute it, but was a lead generation for cosmetic surgeons. So I had a bunch of websites of like my cosmetic surgery, Baton Rouge, my cosmetic surgery, Miami, my cosmetic surgery, Chicago.
Yeah.
And the idea was build these sites, local SEO, get them to rank when you type in, cosmetic surgery city,
Yeah.
and build a lead list and sell the leads. And we built the sites. Some of them were got some ranking, we're getting some traffic, but yeah, I beyond that had no idea. I mean, I didn't make a single dollar from them. Certainly learned a lot.
Yeah.
Spent a lot of money.
Yeah. It's just a learning process. Like at least you got in the online game, in the digital marketing game, whatever you want to call it. And like my first couple projects or ventures, whatever, they were just learning experiences, and they don't end up to be your big hitter.
Mm-hmm.
And then you went back, you started saving up money again, got a job.
No. Well, I didn't get a job. Moved back home, kept on keeping on. And yeah, I just got home, buckled down, and just like totally committed myself to making this work. I was living at my mom's house, not a ton of distractions.
Yeah.
And this just became, my life, just, podcasting at the gym, Tropical MBA and Pat Flynn and Internet Business Mastery. And she just was hustling on Odesk, which is now Upwork.
Yep.
And yeah, I was home for, I think it was like 5 or 6 months, and just, was buckling down and trying to get any opportunity that I could find from freelancing on Upwork. And I just it made this shift in my head. So before with the cosmetic surgery lead gen sites, I was really, I thought I was like, I could be the boss and hire people to do this. And that actually, I learned some valuable skills of like how to hire, for example. But I realized when I moved back home that if I was gonna make this work, then I had to do the work, which I did, and was able to, doing work and building skills from freelancing. And I was writing articles, doing guest blogging, SEO, doing AdWords, mostly, I mean, online internet marketing related stuff. And 5 months, 6 months later, built up enough, freelance income. And, the thing with Upwork, one opportunity, it starts as this, and then it leads into this, and now you're, partnering together on niche sites or whatever. And so, yeah, it was about 5 or 6 months that I was home and saving up some money to make, to have enough, income to then take off again. And yeah, that was like 4.5 years ago now.
Okay, cool. That was my next question. 4.5 years. That's not that long ago. That's wow, crazy. So yeah, it was still Odesk at that point. So yeah, you just got onto the freelancing side and just started doing different internet marketing activities to get money.
Like building skills. So prior, I was learning a lot or reading a lot about internet marketing and SEO and this and that. But I thought that I could just like hire people to do these things. Oh, SEO, we got to do SEO. Well, I'll just hire, find some freelancer in India who says he does SEO. And I had a bit of an understanding, but yeah, that, didn't work for me. And then what started to work is when I was doing the work. It's like, okay, like I wasn't contracting things out. Like I was the one writing the articles, and I was the one, doing a lot of my stuff was articles, AdWords, guest blogging that turned into partnerships with building relationships, and then partnerships, and then launching into this, and then went into that and this, and yeah, kind of went on that for a handful of years until I got into FBA.
Cool. Awesome. So yeah, getting into FBA, how did you tell us the story of how you got into that. And yeah.
So a bunch of my friends, or I had friends that were getting into Amazon and having some success with it. I think we heard the same guy speak at the same conference talking about his experience, getting into FBA. And
yeah, so you were there at the 2014 DSL.
The first one, right? Or I was at
the very first one in Chiang Mai.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's kind of where we first associated and probably met back then. But that's crazy. Okay.
Yeah. So Ben, who spoke, was a friend of mine before.
Oh, okay.
And so I knew about his business a little bit, and yeah, that was kind of like the final push of like, all right, I want to do something. Like, I got to commit to something else. I mean, freelancing, it was okay. I was supporting myself and was traveling, but like that wasn't the business, that I wanted. And I tried a bunch of stuff. I tried drop shipping stores. I made, info product courses. I was doing marketing agency and,
wow.
and stuff went okay, but nothing really, really hit.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until, I guess it was after the DSL retreat that I kind of committed myself, like, all right, I'm going to do Amazon. I got to figure out what product I'm going to launch. Got to launch a product.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Awesome. So that's crazy. So you guys got into it, or you got into it basically the same time that we got into it. And so this is so interesting. That was 3 years ago this month. This week, actually. It's October 6th. It's October 6th, 2017, and the conference was actually October 7th, 2014. And I remember that date because it was actually literally written on our wall, October 7th, 2014, and we had a big poster board, and me and Parker's one bedroom studio apartment, and I talked about this other podcast. I slept on the couch for a year, and we members of DSL, obviously building our dropshipping stores nights and weekends while working our jobs at home. And that date, October 7th, that's when we got started. So yeah, it's 3 years in the digital nomad game this week. Crazy. So for people starting, they always ask me, what type of an investment does it take to start FBA? Did you get funding after your test order like we did? Can you share a little bit about the capital that you started with and how many products you launched and how did you go?
Yeah. So we started with, or I started with one product. It was oversized, and so it had to be shipped by ocean. My first product did not take off very quickly. I remember I placed my first, sent the down payment on Christmas Day of that year.
Cool. Yeah.
And I think I was finally in stock because production takes forever and ocean shipping takes forever, and I don't know what I was doing, and I didn't get into stock until end of March, or maybe it was even April of.
That's exact same as us. We did our first test order in March, April,
and now we're here.
Yeah. Wow.
And so yeah, that first product I ordered 400 units. I think it cost me $5,000 out of my own pocket.
Yep.
And yeah, to be honest, it was okay. I didn't know that much or how to be aggressive or push things, and it was okay. But it wasn't, I was making some sales, and maybe I was doing 3 a day or 5 a day, or some days 8 or 9. And, but yeah, it wasn't until my second product that I launched in, I think June or July of that year.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. That's the same as us. Second product in July.
Yeah. And that was small. It's inexpensive. I think it was selling for $8, and one I thought that it could sell maybe 10 a day or 15 a day. And, all of a sudden it goes in, it starts selling. The initial order was 600 units or whatever. All of a sudden it gets in, it's selling 10 a day, 20 a day, 30 a day, 50 a day. I'm like, woo! Shit.
Nice.
I got to order more. All of a sudden, this stuff's selling. It's, I can't stay in stock. I'm, start to max out credit cards to, buy more inventory. And,
oh, wow.
And then, from that one, we expanded into and a handful of like similar type products. And so then I went from, 2 products to, 4 to 5 to 6 or something
Wow.
the holidays.
Of
And
2015. This is just 1
yeah,
year into it, or like basically less than a
yeah,
year.
yeah.
Oh wow. So
Well, a lot of the products that we, expanded, like they were, with the same supplier. They were similar types of products, so we just tried
yeah,
to like, max out the
kind of like,
category.
yeah, just duplicate the success.
Hmm.
Similar
Yeah, yeah.
product, same but different. Okay, just yeah,
Exactly.
break up as
So
much as you can in that niche.
yeah, and so during that time, you don't want to talk about cash flow. Like
Yeah,
basically, I had nothing. It was I started with like hardly any money in my bank to begin with, and yeah, like I said, was maxing out credit cards to you know uh, one credit card for this to down payment on this supplier, and then the final payment on this PayPal, and then paying the shipping on this card and this, and and our sales were growing. I remember from it was like August, like July, August, September, October, I think our sales doubled like every month, which I mean started
wow.
from like maybe 2000, but still, 2 to 4 to 8 to 16 to 30 to, we ended up
It,
having a big holidays.
talking like in revenue.
Yeah, revenue. And yeah, I remember our first like, was shooting for, $1,000 revenue day. And then we hit that. And then our first, 1,500 revenue day. And yeah, during this time, it was growing. It was super, super exciting. But like, I still had like this much money in my bank. I was transferring out enough to kind of cover my expenses and
Yeah,
live, but
it's tight. Yeah, it's
it is tight.
so
And
Alibaba took credit card.
no, this was mostly with one supplier who I could pay on PayPal. And so
Ah,
I did PayPal to my
PayPal through the
credit
credit
card.
card.
Yeah, yeah.
Interesting. Okay, gotcha.
And yeah, so then we had a big holiday run up. Um and yeah, sold a lot. I think we had maybe 7 or 8 products or something at that time.
Wow, that's
Um
fast. So did you bring on a partner, or were you launching
well,
these all yourself, or?
yeah, so it started, it was just me. And then and into the holidays, and then after the holidays, sales dropped, but still, I think we must have been doing like 40, 50, 60K revenue or some around that.
Wow.
Uh, if I remember right. And and yeah, then pretty shortly, and business was growing. It was awesome, but my bank account was still looking like
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
And yeah, around then I caught up with and was chatting with my friend Travis, who was the one of the co-founders of AMZ Tracker, who he at that time had recently sold a big stake in that business. I mean, Travis has been always one of the most successful guys that I've known, with success in all a wide variety of different businesses. And we started talking. We'd known each other for years, and he was now trying to shift roles and kind of get more involved in investing. And my business was growing, and we had a really good relationship. And I wanted some cash.
Yeah.
The business was doing great and growing, but like my bank account wasn't. And so yeah, around March, I guess we finalized a deal where Travis bought into my business, which at that time then gave me some cash, some my bank account, kind of from this to this,
Yeah.
gave me some breathing room, and then also kind of allowed me and kind of got me in the direction of like thinking bigger, because
Yeah.
having Travis involved, I had a little more security where I wasn't so so scarcity or nervous. Like I had a buffer, and so was then able to think bigger and like, okay, like how do we do this really big, and also was able to get access to capital via Travis to grow the business more. It wasn't just my money that I was playing with. I had access to more. And as you and I'm sure your audience with FBA experience is aware, that capital is a big limiting factor or
Yeah.
can be a big limiting factor in growth. And so yeah, taking Travis on gave me some cash, got me to think bigger, gave me some more opportunities to, like had more capital available to reinvest in the business and grow it more and grow it bigger. And so that's what
Awesome.
we tried to do.
So that's crazy. So what I'm thinking is, you launched like 5, 6 products, 7 products, whatever, in the first year. Our main product is still selling now. Our main product launched in July of 15, and we have a handful of products now. But this is 3 years later. So after you got Travis involved, what were the major keys that took it from that 50K revenue all the way to selling your business? Was it launching more products? Was it hiring a team to do outside marketing to build all the branding stuff, or was it just continually launching more products? Or
so, good question. It was a combination of team and new products. And like I was saying before, of my the first hustle that I was trying to get going with the lead gen sites, and it gave me a foundation for hiring that I was that was something that I was pretty comfortable with. And so and also, like, I wasn't trying to do all the work myself, and I'm a big believer in outsourcing or delegating. And so yeah, pretty quickly as the business was growing, I hired, well, I kind of had a VA that I was working with to start. And then one VA hired some people for to handle some more of the marketing stuff and the admin and the customer service. And then it wasn't until that summer, or like toward the middle end of that summer, I actually was attending blacksmith camp. Are you familiar?
well, the one that you saw Danny at recently.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I was there the summer before as well. And after that, I mean, amazing experience. Really changed me a ton. Really a inflection point in myself as like an entrepreneur and business owner. And from that, it got me, like, I came out, I was all jazzed about growing the business and realizing what we had to do, because at that time I knew that we had to grow the business with more products. And I had some people that were doing new product development or product research, and we were looking into some of these ideas and some of that ideas and some of this. And and to be honest, stuff, we were growing, we were adding new products, but it was mostly just from like the 2 suppliers that we had already been working with. So we were just building out our existing product lines. Yeah. Which was working. I think we got to maybe 20 products that way.
Oh wow.
And but it was still, that was all like me. I was the one who.
Sorry, are these products, like still in the $8, $9 range, like $10 range, or?
We had a bunch, probably about half was in the $10 range, and then half was like $30 to $40 range.
Oh, okay, good.
Wow. And yeah, so but those were all from me. And like, so growing that business was still like, I was the piece that was growing the business. And
yeah, you're the one coming up with the products and deciding what they're going to be.
Yeah, and I had help with other things in the business by my team, but it wasn't until then, after blacksmith camp, and then also getting additional funding to reinvest and grow the business more, that I started to build out really build out my team, and like structure my team. And so we started with new product development, which like was a unit and a team. And then I decided at that point that we were going to focus our growth on the EU. So to this point, all the products were in the US. And that's the side of the business that I sold earlier in the summer.
Yeah.
And after blacksmith camp, we committed to a strategy. It was like, all right, we're gonna expand into Europe. And so I started building out the new product development team. We had our structure and our checklist and weekly meetings to keep everyone moving forward. And we had quota, targets. And I hired four people or three people to, to do this. And, over the course of the next 3 or 4 months, with also the capital that we had available, we got like 30 new products into production ish. And yeah, and it's taken a solid year to get them launched and on top of them. But yeah, that was like so that was the seed and the instigator for the current Amazon EU business, which I still have and I'm still running. And my team does an amazing job of pretty much everything running that business. And so that was the work that we were putting in, I guess, a year ago, last summer, was the seeds of our new product development, getting new products into production and getting these 30 or something. And it was the US, and that was all for the EU. Yeah. The US stuff all was growing or grew. That was basically like I chose all those products.
Yeah.
Still had help with some things, but yeah, that was one that we ended up selling.
Okay. Wow. Is this a same niche in US and EU? Or
we mostly different. There's maybe a handful of overlapping products, but yeah, in the EU, we took the approach of just like, find an opportunity and work backwards.
Yeah.
And so we're in a handful of different categories, some similar, like we have some products that are related, others that are, just not related.
In your business that you sold, the US part, are you sharing any of the niches or any of the products?
Oh, I guess, do you mean?
In the US business, like since you sold it, are you sharing any of the products or have you talked about it publicly or? I don't care if you don't, but just wondering.
No.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Most people don't. We don't either. So in the US, this is the point that we're at where have a handful of products, but we don't really have a team yet. So in your US business, how big was your team and where did you find these people? Were they just like, was it a different person for like PPC and marketing and admin and customer service, or was it one like kind of employee, or was it just on a freelance basis via Upwork? Or
so I started like kind of building out my team in maybe the spring leading up to the blacksmith camp experience in the summer. And not this summer, but the summer before.
Yeah.
And yeah, I started with it kind of had like admin, customer service, then PPC, Amazon marketing. I tried to hire an apprentice that would just replace me.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of how I started it. And then I hired a manager who was just gonna run the whole business for me. And it was at blacksmith camp, one of the things that summer that the first summer that really was an inflection point in me as an entrepreneur and as a business owner was I realized, I went from being an absentee owner of, I've got my team and, they know what to do and they're on top of this and that. And I hired a manager and he'll do everything, which to be honest, I mean, it was going okay, but it wasn't growing. It wasn't growing so much. And so then I realized after blacksmith camp, there was a shift that like my role and opportunity in the business is to, get the most out of my people for them, for the business, to structure the business in a way that was, effective for the business goals as well as for the people. And, from then, like I have kind of went on and really haven't stopped this deep dive into, management and read every friggin' management book that I could find and learning about, team and motivating and structure. And, we've tried a lot of things. And so to answer your question about structure, we were running it for a while with the US business and into the EU where we had admin, we had customer support, we had PPC, we had, head of Amazon, we had branding, we had logistics. Wow. And that was going okay, honestly. So then we sold the US business, which kind of had that sort of structure. And as we're trying to get on this EU business, which honestly was the beginning of the summer, it was a fucking mess. 30 products, 5 markets, 5 languages.
Yeah.
Like, that's like, well, yeah, you can do the math, but each one's separate in a different language. And like each listing in each market operates separately. And you gotta get reviews, you gotta get, the images, you gotta write the image copy, you gotta do keyword research in all these languages. And it was a lot. We had a ton of money tied up in inventory and new orders. We invested a lot into this business.
Yeah.
And it was quite challenging, really, really a mess, to be honest. And it wasn't until we sold the US business that then I had to figure out a way. We had all this money tied up in the EU business and it was not looking very promising at the time. But I didn't have a choice except to figure it out. And so over the summer, we totally restructured how the business was managed. And it went from, I fired half my team. Okay. So I had 16 or something or 15, cut it down to 8. And instead of having okay, we have our marketing team and our PPC team and our branding team, it went down to now country managers. So I've got one person in charge of one market, and they basically do everything for that country. And so they'll make sure the listings are good. They monitor the PPC. They'll respond to, customer service. They'll respond to reviews. And, they make sure everything's ready when we're launching products. And it wasn't. And so we changed from a compartmentalized structure to one that's much more individual responsibility and ownership and freedom to they have a lot of a leeway to do whatever they want. They want to try this, or they want to adjust this. They want to change prices. They know what we need for different profit margins. And so, now they're able to adjust as they see fit. And it wasn't until we had that kind of shift over the summer that the EU business finally started to come together and has been coming together. And now is getting to the size that the US business was when that one sold, which has come a long way from a couple months ago when it was literally a mess, to now actually running quite well. And the team is doing all of it, and they're doing amazing. And so
wow.
So that's how it's run today.
Okay. So I think this is what we need to do, because our main product is in the EU now. It's been there for maybe 6 months. Still doing all the work myself, or ourselves, me and Parker. And so where did you find these people, your team members? Are they on Upwork? Are they people that they specialize on Amazon? And do you give them a 10% ownership or something like that? Or how much do you pay them, if you can share?
Yeah. So most of them were found on Upwork. I probably got at this point. Yeah. So right now I think there's 10 of us, or I have 10 people on my team. And I think 7 came from Upwork. One I met when I was in Chiang Mai last year, and just kind of, met some people that were interested in Amazon or doing Amazon. A couple have come from referrals now, but Upwork is where we get most of our people. And I've learned a lot about hiring, and it's one thing that I think we're probably, one of our strongest suits. And to give you, a little bit of an idea, we put a ton of time and effort into the hiring process. So I'm, really, an advantage that we have is we're able to get good people. Everyone on my team, honestly, is amazing. Each one individually, awesome people, smart, can learn, grow. And it's obvious from the first job posting that this is the kind of organization that they're going to be coming into. And so, for example, we have long job postings. We talk about, background of the business and who am I, and, what the business does and the team culture and what your role, what to expect. And then it just goes into fucking, a lot of questions. We'll start with like 10 or 12, first round interview questions. Tell us about yourself, where you're from, what's your education, work experience, what are your favorite books, what's your personality type, why are you interested in this role, how much you get paid at your last job, what questions do you have? And yeah, we really are very thorough in the question process.
Yeah.
And, when people see this, the applicants that we get, a lot of them don't go through the process. They see it, and if they're not interested, yeah, then good. Like we're looking for people that are, that are right, culture fit. Honestly, that's like something we're not willing to compromise on is culture. And a part of that is, and we say this, in the job posting, is like, we want people that are here because they want to be challenged. They want to grow. They want to be a part of it's really, honestly, man, like we've got a really special team environment and culture. And, we want people that like, that's what they want growth. They want opportunity. And yeah, we pay them, but we don't want people that are just looking for a paycheck. If they're just trying to, get some cash, like this is not the opportunity for them. And so combination of all these things, we get, people are, come in, are willing to work, willing to grow, willing to, build skills. And we teach a lot. I teach a lot, and they do, and they will grow. And so they're willing to, start working at, a lot of people take, big salary cuts when they come work for us, because this is the kind of environment that I've learned a lot about hiring and what people want. And yeah, they want money, you got to cover your needs, but like way more important for a lot of people. And these are the people that we want, are ones that want to be challenged, want to grow, want to be part of a close-knit company culture. And we have other benefits, like, you can work wherever you want, and we don't clock your hours and this and that. And so, yeah, we start with, also I've hired a lot in the Philippines. So that's one of the reasons why I'm here, is I've got about half my team is in Manila. And so I've been here a bunch of times the last, year and a half. And so, and yeah, cause like these people are important to me, and working online is, important, and getting to know them, but then also meeting in person, you can't substitute that. And so yeah, again, one of the reasons why I'm here is, touching base with my team, with my people. And so, yeah, we really have, and you can tell by how excited I get, talking about this stuff, but it's a special environment. And so we get good people, tying it all together. We, hiring in the Philippines, hiring in a lot of like, I have one American, I have one Swiss guy. Okay. I've got like 7 Filipinos. I got 1 Ukrainian girl. And, most of them, like I know I know what $500 a month, how far that goes in the Philippines, and $1,000 a month, $1,500 a month. Like, my team they're location independent. They live wherever they want. They're living in Chiang Mai, they're living in Indonesia, they're living in, in the Philippines. And so it's intentional. So it allows us to, pay, we can, pay enough to support these people and allow them to live a pretty good lifestyle.
Yeah.
But like, it allows me to have 10 of them versus what, 2 Americans would want if they were, living in New York. I could afford like 1 person. Yeah. And, because like, I'm hiring, and, all the things I've been talking about, including location, we're able to get more people to, which, well, is really valuable.
Yeah, you got a lot of products. So these are good hard numbers for me. So like in the Philippines, $500 a month, like that's a good, good number.
I mean, yeah.
And then someone like me, who maybe I'm just getting started, $1,000 a month in Chiang Mai will definitely get them living in there, or in Bali or something like that, or 1,500.
Yeah, that's what I started. I think most of my even Western employees, started. So another thing that I would totally recommend when you're hiring, and what we do is everyone starts on like a 2-month trial contract. And so that's useful for a few reasons. One is it allows both of you an out, it gives you like a test to see, like, is it going well for you? Is it going well for them? Are expectations being met? And it just gives you both an opportunity to circle back in a couple of months and be like, hey, how's this going? Is this good? Do either of us want to bail? And then also when you frame it as a trial contract like that, often you're able to get them to work for less than they would want, to get them started for less. So it's less of an upfront investment for you as the business. And it gives you a chance to, try these people out. And also, like part of it for me is like, I don't want people that are only in it for the money. And so, I want to pay them enough, but like it's like, it shows something. If they're willing to work for less than they want for a few months, it shows that they really want this opportunity. And like, those are the people that I want, the ones that want the opportunity, that are really into it.
Okay, cool. So the people that are running like your German products and your Spain and Italian, they're not native German, Spain, Italian speakers?
So the German guy is Swiss, who speaks German.
Okay.
The other ones are, Filipinos, but we also have like translators that we work with. And so we have translators for each market that the country managers, work with and are still ultimately responsible for. But yeah.
Gotcha. So a separate translator from Upwork probably.
Yeah.
And every month, because you only really need to use them once just to make sure the page is good and to translate, or every couple months hire them to look it over, or
they're contract, they're hourly. So my team, everyone is full-time salary,
everyone's full-time. Okay.
Yeah. That's important to me because like I want, this is my full-time thing. This is like a full-time, business, and we want people that are, that can, commit to us fully, and we commit to them fully also. But yeah, with the translators, stuff like that. I mean, we have some designers that we work with that is just, hourly, and, we need, this packaging translated, or these listings, or, this random customer service comes up that can't be translated. So yeah.
So for just the daily emails and comments, do they just use Google Translate to respond to the emails and stuff? Because that's something I'm like confused about.
To be honest, I'm not sure. I know they respond. I know it's in the local language. I know we have templates. We're really big on SOPs, and so I think the customer service, we work on getting, like stock answers to some stuff that, you get the same questions. And so they're able to, build out a response list, or, answer bank. And so, yeah, we use the translators, I think, less and less. We'll need them for new products, but the maintenance, they don't work that many hours.
Okay. Awesome. Okay. So overall, big picture here, to get to, the level that your U.S. business sold at, hiring is the big theme, and building a team. Because with us, it's just us two guys managing a handful of products. Can you share about your U.S. business? What Evan told me it sold for like near 6 figures or something, or 7 figures. Sorry. What was for people that don't know, what was the monthly revenue that got you to sell at that point, and monthly profit?
Yeah. So one thing that was kind of interesting with that sale. So also just to clue you and everyone in, it wasn't sold on like a brokerage. It wasn't like FE or Empire Flippers or, Quilight or whatever. Okay. This came from, I was talking to Travis last fall, and this kind of floated. It was like, I think like it may be cool, like, sell the business. And all of a sudden he was just like, oh, well, I was just talking to the same guy that bought his other businesses. or some of his other businesses, like they're trying to like, yeah, like, you know, they might want to buy our business. Like, are you interested? And, you know, yeah, then like 3 days later, you know, I'm on a plane to China to meet with these guys and, you know, basically bang out a deal to, you know, for this business. And, you know, fast forward it, you know, maybe a month or two later. And yeah, it was, you know, cash in the bank, wire cleared.
Wow.
And so, yeah, so ours was, it was negotiation and an agreement. And you know, it was me sitting down with the guy that, you know, wanted to buy the business. And, you know, I showed him our numbers and gave him access to everything. And so yeah, we were doing, you know, so we sold in, say, March, and we had a huge holiday. So it was like October, November, December.
Yeah.
You know, and we, you know, we were doing 6 figures for sure. I mean, I think it was more 150, like 150, 160, like
Revenue, right?
Yeah, monthly. I think, you know, October or something like that, 150. You know, November, December, you know, more. I think we had some inventory issues, but still had, you know, big holiday months. So like, you know, mid hundreds to, I'm pretty sure we broke 200. I don't remember.
Yeah.
And then, you know, it was going down. You know, we had, honestly, a lot of the stuff was our revenue and profit was on the decline because, like I was saying, we were focusing all of our growth on the EU stuff. And, you know, as you know, like businesses, they're going one direction or another. They're either going up or going down. And, you know, we weren't focusing on growing the US business. So, you know, it started to go down. And so when you ask you know, our, you know, monthly revenue and profit, it's like, if you look at the last 6 months or you look at the last 3 months, you look at the last month, you know, we were doing the holidays, you know, I think we did 50, 60, 80, 90K profit. Yeah. Then after that, it was like, you know, maybe, you know, 40s or 50s. And, you know, coming down to where it was kind of settling at was around, I think, like 30K profit.
Okay.
And
cool.
so the multiple was, you know, roughly, you know, 30K profit times 30 months, minus a brokerage fee that they got a discount. We didn't have to pay. So minus like 15% plus inventory, which ended up being, you know, just shy of $1 million.
Cool. Yeah. Fuck yeah. So yeah, for people that don't know revenue to profit, let's say you're doing 100K in revenue per month. Profit maybe, what is it, 30%?
Yeah.
Somewhere in the
US,
range.
Yeah, in the US, we were, probably around 30%. In the
Cool.
EU, we're at like fucking 19 or 18 because VAT, which is not good, and kills our profit, but you got to pay it. So our profit margins in the EU suck.
So I think I know the answer. So why build EU when there's that profit hit?
Well, to be transparent, I didn't fully understand how VAT worked when I made the decision to focus on the EU. And there was a while that I was seriously second guessing if that was the right decision. And like now it's looking okay. You know, the business is doing all right. But a couple months ago, I would have seriously questioned if going into the EU was the right move because VAT fucking sucks. 20% off the top, everything that you sell. So in the US, if we were doing, 30% margin, tack on VAT and we would have 10. So thankfully we were shooting higher, 40%-ish margins, we thought, with the EU products. So then when you slap on VAT, we're down to 20 or 17 or 18. And yeah, so at the time I didn't understand how VAT worked. I just thought, the EU, it's less competitive. We can we have a team, we can move fast, we can get into these markets while it's still early. So that was the thought, and that's why I did it. It's working out okay now, but would have seriously questioned that decision a couple of months ago or 5 months ago.
Yeah, I think it's still, call it an emerging market. It's still big, long term. Because Amazon is still growing in Europe and eventually into more countries. So I see it as a long-term play. It's still new, so get in and grab that real estate, so to speak, in these different niches. Okay, wow, awesome. So you're growing EU now. You sold your US business. In the EU, how much like startup capital did it take to launch these 30 products all at once? Was it like 100K in inventory?
Quite
like how much
more?
So a few hundred K and you took the US selling revenue and put it into the EU. That's basically
it was a combination of a lot of stuff of like, and the thing is, and I mean, what I've learned is just like stuff adds up. So, we thought we had, X, we thought we had like this much that we were investing in new inventory, and okay, we're estimating, 10K or, 10K about for product, and, we're doing 25 or 30 of them. And so, it's going to cost, 250 or 300 or whatever. But like stuff that I've learned and continue to learn is just like stuff takes longer, stuff's more expensive, oh, now there's a fee for this and then the fee for this. And, and then, oh shit, now stuff's selling. So you got to order more. And now you're placing reorders, and now you're, buying bigger reorders, and now launching new products. And so it just, as you like, these businesses just eat capital. So thankfully between me and Travis have both contributed a lot of our own cash into the business. Travis has contributed, we contributed stuff from the US business was funding it. I've contributed my own cash. Then, when we sold the business, like it's a lot of capital has gone into the business. And, thankfully now it's, generating profit. And I mean, now of course the holidays are coming up, so we're ordering a ton and, still just eating cash. But our sales are growing a lot, and we're poised to have a pretty good holidays. And so I'm curious to see, what our bank account looks like in a couple of months, I guess.
Yeah. Holidays is always good for e-commerce people. We know that after a couple of holidays. So this is literally the perfect conversation I need to hear. I guess for me, it's me, it's a team of two, my business, and we have a handful of products. And, we've hired some piecework PPC people and paid them $500 a month, like this PPC company. We've done that. What is the first thing that you would tell someone like me that we need to hire a full-time team member for? Is it customer service? Is it new product development? Is it outside branding?
Well, I'd probably say, the first thing would be to like get off your plate the stuff that you don't want to be doing. So customer service, answering emails, admin, back-end Amazon stuff. Cause that was the first thing that it was the stuff that I wanted to get rid of the most. And it was the easiest. Like you can get a customer service person in there, relatively easily. And so that's where I would start. And like, I think it's worth it to hire people full time. You can get someone for sure $400 a month starting, $500 a month starting. Then you get them full time, and like, I would try to find the best person that you can for that, and they can start with customer service, and you can teach them and train them some things. Like now they're helping out with other things, and you have other tasks that you can kind of push off to them. The new product development side of things is, in terms of growth, I'd say is, the most important piece to hire for. But honestly, man, it's hard. Like you can't just hire someone and be like, oh, like find us new products. You gotta
find me a moneymaker.
Yeah, you gotta like give them this. You gotta train them and give them the structure and tell them what to look for, and then the sourcing, and like there's all these different pieces. And I mean, it's possible for sure, but it's it's also challenging and, takes or in my experience, takes some, thought, effort, energy in order to structure that in the right way. Cause I've also I had a new product development team that was running for like months that like basically didn't have any output. And that was not because of them, that was because of me, because I didn't structure it and lead them properly to be effective.
So when it started to be effective, was it like the weekly meetings with your product development team? Like, hey, what we got? What are your things? And then I can give my input.
Yeah.
Okay, this looks good. Drop that. This looks good. Change this.
Yeah. So it was a couple of things. One was having a really clear structure. So saying, okay, this is what a good opportunity looks like. More than X in revenue, less than X reviews, this size, this weight, we're going to be, costs less than X $1,000 to launch. And, showing and training, okay, so this is how you do product research. This is what Jungle Scout is. This is how you search for Amazon bestsellers. This is how you look for reviews. This is how you this. And in really, showing people what this process looks like. Okay, step 1, you do this. Step 2, you do this. Step 3, you do this.
Yeah.
And showing them this checklist. So that, and the weekly calls. So yeah, when we started doing those, it was like, for me to stay involved and holding them accountable. And every week was like, okay, what did we do last week? How did it go? What are we doing next week? And, coming back to it, and everyone, they were doing the same thing. They were all trying to new product research, new product development. They were all doing the same thing. And so I was like, okay, well, like, Erica found 2 new products last week, awesome. Erica, great job. Jerice, well, why didn't you find any new products? What happened? Like, what's, troubleshooting, and not in like a, aggressive way, but in like, oh, wow, like Erica, you're doing amazing. Like, share with the rest of the team, what's working well for you, what challenge, like doing the weekly meetings allows you to, share wins and, troubleshoot challenges together in a way that's just, effective.
Awesome. Were your product development people, were they mostly Filipino or Western?
Yeah. All Filipino.
Cool.
Philippines has got great people.
Yeah, I know, man. We love the Philippines. We did a couple months in Davao and with the Empire because of, I have no idea. It was good. And then we stopped by Manila a little bit. Anyways, we love the Philippines. Definitely want to visit again. I've been so close to just going and hiring this person, a Filipino person, and I just need to get over that. We need to get over that mental barrier. Oh yeah, do you offer your employees some sort of revenue share, some sort of ownership in the product, ownership in the business, or maybe just bonuses for certain sales numbers, or is it just the solid? Or if you don't want to share, I can ask you later. Or
yeah, we've experimented with a lot of things. I found that performance-based compensation can be really tricky. For example, with the new product development team, there were bonuses based off, oh, if you submit this many final reports or you get this many products to, this stage, you'll get a bonus or whatever. And it just gets tricky when the incentives are not completely aligned. So right now, the team is salary. I give bonuses. Like when I sold the US business, everyone got, like a month or 2 month salary bonus. And yeah, like I give bonuses, and we're, one of the things for this quarter that I want to explore more is, more performance-based incentives or bonuses. Cause like a core like driving principle of myself is like, success is better when shared. I believe in abundance. There's a big enough pie. I want to do big things, and I want to, I want to like get mine, but it's not just about me. I want you to get yours and you to get yours, and let's do big things that we can do together and each have enough. And so yeah, I want to be able to incorporate that into my team. It's also hard. Also, with this business, it was literally losing money up until a handful of months ago. So it's like, what are you gonna what are you going to give a bonus when it's just losing money? And then also
Yeah.
I'll admit is, I'm kind of conflicted because then it's like, okay, now the business is doing better. Our sales are growing, our profits growing, the team's doing amazing, but like, and I want them to be able to share in the upside. But then on the other hand, like when the business was not doing so hot, like that was my cash that I was putting in, they still got their salary. They were still, none of them got pay cuts when the business wasn't doing well. So like, it's
Cool.
it's
Awesome. Yeah. It would make sense to me, if someone wants to work full time, for like the startup culture or whatever, on a cool team, that they would obviously have some goal that we're working to, whether it's, all right, when we sell this business, you guys get this bonus, or maybe it's
something.
this small percentage, or, if we hit these numbers, you get a monthly bonus, or, product sales reach this, you get it, whatever X cut. Okay. That's very good. Okay. So I have a really good idea of what we need to do. I asked you all my questions there. The team members have ownership. Obviously in the Amazon business, stuff always takes longer than expected and is more expensive. That's a big theme that people know from watching this channel. And the good part about you're talking about training, when you hire an employee to find new products, you have to teach them the step-by-step. I'm thinking in the back of my mind, well, I already have a video step-by-step tutorial on how to find successful products, because my YouTube audience asked me for that. So
there you go. You already got your training program.
Yeah, shameless plug, guys. If you don't know who I am, you can check that my step-by-step video tutorial, link in the description. My Amazon course. Because like I was telling you before, after a year of YouTubing, the most common question that people ask me on a daily basis is, "What do you do, man? What is this Amazon thing? How do I find this product?"
How do you make those internet monies?
How do you make money online, bro? Because it's a jungle out there as far as podcasts and videos, how to do this Amazon thing. But I think we're right at that point where we need to start hiring and building the team, because that sounds like how you did it. You can't do it all yourself. So I guess for people that don't know who you are, tell people a little bit about your vision for the future. Like you were telling me before we hit record, what are you doing next? What are your big dreams or goals? I like to call them visions, but you're going to be the next Tim Ferriss, sold your business, write some books, do a podcast, or
I'm continuing to explore. So it's been a crazy few months of, selling my business that was making all them at the time. It was, the US business, the EU business, literally. And so getting rid of that, getting some cash, still having like this pretty shitty business. And it's like, all these questions. Who am I? What am I good at? What should I do? What's important to me? Who do I want to be with? Where do I want to go? Like all these, it's like, it's a lot. Yeah. And so, I kind of went on this big journey, or have been on this big journey this summer to try to figure, what is my purpose? Like, what am I uniquely suited to do? What opportunities to go after? And so what I'm excited about now is, from the beginning, always like people, like I was telling you, like all the best opportunities in my life come through people, become business partners and friends and employees and investors. And it's all like, I love people. And so that's what I want to do. All the best opportunities come from people. I want to connect with more people. So getting myself out there more, doing stuff like this, like having awesome conversations, and putting myself out there authentically to see, who it vibes with, and then see what sort of opportunities can be made connected. I'm excited about getting more involved in investing. Now we've got, we know how to do Amazon well. And so we're looking to invest in other Amazon businesses, and we've got infrastructure in place where, like, if you were interested, or if someone is interested, it's like, all right, come, we'll buy into the business, take off your plate everything you don't want to do, logistics, whatever sort of marketing stuff, allow you to focus on whatever it is you want to do, product, branding, marketing, whatever. And yeah, we'll just grow it, bigger, better, more fun, faster, together. And so, continuing to put myself out there more to see what kind of, deals or opportunities that, we can make. I believe in abundance. Success is better when shared. It's a big pie. Let's do big things, like find the 1 + 1 = 3 opportunities, and just do big things and have fun doing it together.
Awesome. Do big things, do dope shit. I love it.
Sounds good to me.
So I'm looking over my notes here, a couple rapid fire Tim Ferriss style questions, I guess, that I'm curious about. When you sold your US business with the 30 products or whatever it was it all one seller central account?
Yep.
Was it a Chinese, because you said you flew to China to sell the business, was it a Chinese buyer by chance, if you can share?
Yep.
Okay, interesting. How much was outside marketing part of a success outside Amazon?
Minimal.
What about the brands? Was building the brand a big part of it? Because if you know who Ryan Moran is, he talks about, building an Amazon business comes off of turning your first end customers into raving fans and buying your first product and then buying your next product and next product. So how much was building a brand part of the success, if any?
Minimal, if any.
Okay, cool. So it all about
we're hitting Amazon. That was the strategy, selling on Amazon.
Cool. Is your PPC always on for every product all year?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Because obviously you're not the one that does this, but do you have any idea if your PPC people, if they turn PPC on for a couple weeks and then turn it off to see if there's any difference?
We're
pretty much always on?
We're definitely very active in the PPC, and adding negative keywords and adding positive converting keywords and digging through the search term reports and changing bids, and that's a very part of our ongoing process. I don't think that we turn ads off. Maybe they would go become minimal if they're not selling that well. Or not profitable, but yeah, generally I think running PPC.
Cool. And so a lot of people, when they contact me, they're in product research phase. What would you say is after launching dozens of products, what's the secret to success? Is there one overarching theme? Should people not overthink it? How long should they take during product research if they're starting from zero until ordering their first sample? Should it be a month? Should it be a couple months? Or should they just go for it and test? Or
yeah, I think just go for it and test, because you learn the most when you're actually doing it, and to even think about that first product as maybe just a learning curve, and don't spend too much money on it, but you can order 100 units from Aliexpress and spend $500 or $1,000 to just go and you can try. Then you learn about how to order from Alibaba or AliExpress and how to ship and import and set up a listing and set up PPC and doing keywords, and it'll just give you, getting that hands-on experience will be so valuable. And yeah, maybe the first product isn't going to be a home run, but that's okay. You'll learn. So when you do the next product, now everything that you wanted to do better or differently on the first product, and maybe the first product does hit, but you're only going to know if you try. And if it doesn't, then just don't spend too much money on it, which you don't need to, and treat it like a learning curve, and use those learnings to parlay forward.
How often have you done the AliExpress method that you just said, testing with 100? And do you guys still do that? Is that part of what you do?
I haven't done that. We always did just initial orders of, we had when we were launching these products, we kind of knew what we were doing. And so we, would spend like $5,000 or $10,000. Most of our products were between the $5,000 and $10,000 per product, which like for us was a acceptable bet to place.
That's test order. Okay.
For the first order. Yeah. But we put a lot of time and effort into the product research. This isn't just like, oh, let's sell this and this. Like we really did our homework and like had reason to believe that it would be a good seller.
So 5 to 10K, is that 500 units, 1,000 units?
Oh,
do you usually start with 500? Usually start with
500 to 1,000. Yeah. I mean, honestly, like with a lot of these, like we don't want to nickel and dime. We don't want to come off as nickel and diming to the manufacturers. So like, 500 units, 1,000 units, somewhere in there seems to be a reasonable amount to, for a first order.
What is the percentage of successful products, the ones that you keep alive versus the ones that you ditch because they're not doing well? Because I know we've had like a handful of successful products, but also a few that we've already stopped.
We've had quite a few that we've stopped. Maybe half are successful. Wow. I mean, it's been challenging, like for sure. And yeah, a lot of the products, the thing is, it's just, the challenge in the EU is profit margin. Like we could get these things to sell, but also the challenge. So we're paying VAT. So we're responsible for 20% off the top, but not everyone's paying VAT. So that makes it hard to compete. And so on some of our products, in order to be profitable, we don't make any sales. Then we try to liquidate and lower our price. Maybe we're at 5%, and oh wow, now it's selling, and now we're selling 10 a day, 12 a day. We're not making any money because we're paying VAT. But we've had a lot of products like that. And the biggest challenge in the EU, our biggest challenge is dealing with VAT, specifically because a lot of people aren't paying VAT, and I don't think that's the best long-term strategy. And we're paying VAT, but yeah, because of that, we've had a lot of duds.
Okay, so duds. So in US, like maybe around half of the duds that you just stopped buying inventory, or
the US, I think everything I think we reordered or were reordering in the US. Some sold better than others, but
even if it's doing 5 sales a day, do you keep reordering those if it's just making small profit, or if it's not making $100 a day, do you scrap it?
No, we were just reordering everything, even if it was also admittedly, I didn't, if I was running that business now, I would approach a lot of our products very differently, but I've learned a ton in the 9 months or so since we started selling, transitioning out of that business. And
cool.
So yeah, the US, we were reordering everything. I think maybe there was one that we didn't reorder.
Interesting. So you, the business that you sold in the US, I'm getting the EU and US mixed up. Was that around 30 products you said?
I think closer to 20. Now 20, in the EU, 20. We've got 30 plus.
It was around 20 in the US when you sold it. Yeah. So knowing everything you know now about launching products, the successful ones, the not successful ones, what's the biggest common, people ask me this all the time, what's the biggest common mistake in launching a product?
Know your profit margins.
Know your margins.
Yeah, know your margin. Because that's, like I said, that's what, screwed us, was we weren't even considering VAT because I didn't understand it.
Right.
And so, yeah, that was a challenge. 20% off the top is a lot. And it resulted in now, a ton of dud products that eats cash and eats energy and effort. And so, yeah, really know your profit margin and make sure that it's healthy, because, you just need that.
Cool. So in the US, what margin did you shoot for? Was it 30% of the sale price is profit? So if it's selling for $30, did you aim for a $10 profit?
Yeah, we were 30 to 40%.
30 to 40%.
Yeah, which was okay. I have friends that sell 50, 60, 80%. That's much better. But
oh wow. And are
But
those products usually in like the $30-$40 range or sale price, or even
I'm
higher,
not
like
sure.
$60? Or
They're usually I'm not sure. They're usually in like, weirder categories or stuff where like you can, branding. It's less commoditized stuff where you're able to play with the profit margin or play with the price more. Because like if you're selling, a freaking umbrella and everyone's selling the same umbrella, and you can't price like twice as much as the competitor. They're just going to go to something else. But
yeah,
like if you're selling like a beauty product, you can build it up more and like this is actually, these are two, moisturizers, but this moisturizer is way better, and so you can sell it for more.
right, gotcha. So a big theme in product research I tell my students and people that work with me, get help from me, is just what you said, differentiation. If it's the same umbrella, how can you charge more? They're just going to get the other guy. They have more reviews than you. So would you
Yep.
say differentiation is one of your major keys when you're looking at a new product? How different can you be, or is it looking at
Yeah.
those less competitive niches? Is it looking at that small niche? I call it like a niche within a niche keyword, like a specific type of umbrella.
Yeah. Ours, differentiated product for sure. You got to differentiate in some way, either by product, either by marketing, by price, but yeah, you got to have a way to differentiate.
Cool. So in the U.S., would you say like people are going to get a lot of value from this product research phase or discussion, because that's what people are really interested in? Everyone getting started. From your dud products and people that have had dud products, stories that you've heard, what is the major theme? Is it the same as the other products? Not differentiated enough? The major
I mean,
theme for the duds, because that was the theme for our dud product is there was other people with the same model off Alibaba. We had better photos, we had better branding, we had the logo on the product real sexy, but the functionality of it was essentially the same as a couple other guys, and so I ended up.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, all our stuff, we're able to move units. It just depends on the price and if we're able to make profit from it. And so it's like, I mean, I think at a price people will buy it, but like that might not make you any money. So, so you got to be. So yeah, I mean, I just think like knowing. That's why I said, having margin or knowing your margin. Because yeah, even with the copycat, whatever, if you would have slashed your price in half, like I bet people would have bought it, even if it's the same thing. Now you're differentiated on price.
Exactly. Okay, cool. Yeah, make sure it's differentiated. Would you say? Because I know some stories from some products is they actually end up selling more by going above in price the other guys, because the perceived value of that price, as long as your product matches that value, that's actually a strategy that works, is pricing above everyone else. Because that shopper, they want to get the best one, they want to get the nicest one.
Yeah.
Um,
I think that can work. I mean, we play around with our pricing a lot, lower it, raise it, it's worth testing.
Cool. Awesome. Okay. Parker is texting me. Where are you at? Thanks. That was like amazing. Exactly what I needed to hear. The universe is crazy that it brought you into our business at this time. I happened to be talking to Evan, right? It is just fucking crazy. Where can people contact you, find out more?
Yeah. Well, first, thanks for having me on. Great chatting. And yeah, if you have, more questions, whatever, like I'm always down to, chat about this stuff. But yeah, if any of this, to your awesome audience, if any of this, sounds cool, interesting, you like what you're hearing, like I said, people is like, that's the most important thing to me. Trying to meet more people, better people, make connections. So yeah, reach out on my website, nateginsberg.com. And also you can follow me on Instagram. If you like yoga and travel, those are like two big things. At least on my Instagram.
Real big into yoga. I've seen your yoga stuff on Facebook and stuff. Looks dope.
Yeah, pretty big into yoga. It's been so yeah. If any of those things, if you're into any of those things or any of those sounds interesting, hit me up, connect. Would love to chat. We're always hiring, looking to bring on, more team members. If you're looking for investment, if you want to invest, we're open to opportunities. So yeah, love to chat. Love to connect. Always looking for amazing and like-minded people to collaborate with.
Awesome. So I'm going to walk outside of Starbucks here and just kind of show people where I am because I never got to do a tour. And if the internet disconnects, then it disconnects. But let me show you where I am right now. Oh, yeah. Also, you have been to Canton Fair. I forgot to get into this subject. What did you think of the Canton Fair? Because we're going next week. And what benefits did you get out of it?
Yeah, I think the best stuff is like networking, you can learn a lot about a product really quickly. So it's like, oh, I want to sell an umbrella, and then go talk to 5 umbrella manufacturers, in an hour. And and it's good to meet people that go there. What Starbucks? Where are you in Guangzhou?
I have no idea. We literally got here yesterday. I'm at this Starbucks. I don't know. There's a million Starbucks in Guangzhou.
There are a lot of them. Yeah.
I've already seen another intersection that almost looks exactly like this, but Guangzhou is amazing, like super clean, and everyone's riding the electric bikes and super wide streets.
Yeah. I've done some really goofy yoga in Guangzhou where they don't speak any English. I'm the only guy and only non-Chinese person. But it's, I don't know, it's always fun.
So would you go back to the Canton Fair? Has that been? Did that contribute to your success or?
Getting FaceTime in with some, manufacturers or sourcing reps and meeting in person. And I've met some great people there. I'm thinking about going after the Bangkok event in a couple of weeks. But yeah, I'm not sure yet. Might probably be a last minute decision.
So do you go, are you coming here to visit your suppliers? Is that what you mean? Or?
Yeah, I have. This trip would probably be more about, connecting with other sellers or, but yeah. I also have, met with a bunch of suppliers at Canton.
Cool. Have you ever gone to visit your factories, or has that factored into getting the best pricing?
The relationship's important. I've never visited factories, but I've met these people, but a handful of times. We do a lot of work with the sourcing company, and so I kind of have on my team people that I'm not the one who's talking to the manufacturers. There's a few other people that are doing that. And the relationship's important. And we have some, Chinese people on our side that communicate with them. So to, not get ripped off.
Okay. Interesting. So is that the Chinese person? Is that one of your team members, or you just work with a sourcing agent?
It's this sourcing business. They're kind of like our sourcing partner, and we've done a lot of work with them, and they're definitely a part of our, process and
system.
They've been great. We've learned a ton, and they've helped us a lot.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I'd be interested in learning more about that. I'll hit you up later, maybe get that contact or something. But okay, I'm just gonna walk out just so you guys get a better view, and then I'll let you go. I'm just walking out into the intersection here. Maybe it'll cut out. Beautiful Guangzhou, China.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, connection getting unstable.
There it is.
All right, man. Well, that was dope. We'll talk soon. Links in the description, people.
My pleasure. Sounds good. Good luck at the fair.
Yeah. For sure, you'll probably see some Facebook posts about the fair. Looking forward to it.
All right, man. Well, enjoy.
Yep. All right, thanks. Talk soon. Thanks for watching, guys.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me on.